to do in college, and I explained to her that I wanted to study musical theater and music management while in college, and I'd want to continue working in shows and auditioning to be part of shows, as well as interning at a record label if possible while still at university. And then after graduating, I'd want to continue auditioning to be part of musical theater productions, as well as releasing music of my own and working in a record label or management company if possible, as well as continuing to be parts of various projects within the film, music, and music business industries to bring in a steady income while living in the city. And after explaining all of that in detail, she hit me with, all right, and if that doesn't work out, what's your plan B? Plan B? I just gave you my plan A, B, C, D, and E. The thing I find so fascinating is that no matter how much I prepare for a career, there seems to be this never-ending question of what I'm going to do if it doesn't work out that follows me like a shadow everywhere. And there is a term to describe this idea. It's called the starving artist. The starving artist is a concept that every aspiring dancer, actor, or singer has faced from the moment they were 6 and were told that being an artist isn't a reliable career. I know so many incredibly talented artists who, despite having achieved so many great things, continue to fear even considering a career in the arts because they've had this fear of not making it instilled in them from the moment they could begin to dream. So where does this narrative even come from? And why in an age so full of successes in the various arts industries are we still perpetuating this narrative to thousands of rising young artists? Well, one reason why this narrative is so deeply perpetuated is that often it looks like artists don't make much money based on the median incomes of artist jobs, like the following. A stage manager in New York is estimated to make a median of about $88,000 a year. A costume designer is estimated to make a median of about $79,000 a year, and a music director in New York are estimated to make about $63,500 a year, which, if you're looking at this individually, might not seem like that much, and that's considering that these are artists who are booking consistent work in New York. But the thing that many people, the common public, doesn't realize is that in the arts industries, one person can work multiple jobs, which is actually very common as there are different demands for different jobs through different projects that are going on throughout the year. So many people with a theater degree are working in jobs like management or screenwriting or directing or even technical aspects such as stage management, and also have jobs like freelance work or recording music for TV, film, and ads. And sometimes they have jobs completely outside of their creative industries, like being a fitness instructor, which can bring in a steady income while in between projects. So if you're utilizing your skill sets to their maximum extent, such as being a stage manager, a costume designer, and doing freelance work throughout the year, then you could earn a sustainable income, potentially exceeding $120,000 a year in the first 8 to 10 years of starting a career in the arts, and potentially earn even more as projects grow in scale if you manage your time right and you manage your finances wisely. We see this in examples of high-earning artists working in and behind the scenes of large-scale projects in film, in television, and mainstream music. With time and experience, the level of the projects that you work will grow as your career grows, and with it, the scale of your income will too. Having multiple streams of income, often within and outside of your creative industries, is a very smart way to go about building a sustainable income in an industry that changes so frequently. And being able to monetize your skill sets and run a business are great ways to go about doing this. And you don't really need fame to be able to do it. Just think of the many musicians and artists on social media platforms like YouTube and TikTok, who we may not consider mainstream or famous, but they've built platforms and audiences with whom they share their music and art, monetizing their skill sets. One example of this is a musician on YouTube named Christopher Sue, who's a pianist with a social media profile with just under 30,000 subscribers. A number in today's world most of us might not consider famous, but he has over 6 streams of income related to music from which he builds a living. He has multiple courses related to music composition, which he sells and designs himself. He teaches private lessons, he produces music for himself and for other artists, accompanies other performers as a pianist, does freelance work, and creates ad revenue and affiliate income through his social media profiles. Another artist I want to mention is Emily Kristen Morris, a Broadway performer and vocal performance instructor who has had incredible success running her own voice teaching business, a TikTok platform with over 1.7 million followers, And she has been consistent in booking roles on and off of Broadway, including national tours. She creates revenue from her social media profiles, from consistently booking jobs as a performer herself, and from her successful voice teaching business. These are examples of artists who use their broadened skill set and multiple streams of income to build sustainable careers that are long-lasting for themselves as full-time artists. Something that modern society tends to assume is that the only successful artists are the ones that are the most present in the media or garner the most publicity. But the thing that I want to stress the most is that that's just not true. The only reason that the general public thinks that fame is equivalent to loads of money, which in our society seems to be a defining factor of a person's success, is because that's basically all that we see. But in reality, fame is just one of the paths to achieving success. It's not even an equivalent to achieve success in the arts industries. While most successful artists aren't even famous, and many don't even desire to be, there are so many successful artists who are working in projects behind the scenes, who are running their own businesses, which bring success and fulfillment in the long game, and so many able to sustain their careers for a lifetime using their education and experiences in these industries. The real distinction to make about having successful careers in the arts industries is understanding that working in an industry that is so ever-changing and heavily reliant on having a good work ethic produces some of the most successful people because it requires the ability to think on your feet, to adapt constantly, to run your own business and brand, and to connect with an audience. Someone I admire deeply and has been a consistent example of this kind of industry success for me is Sarah Bishop, a performer based in New York who has been successful in booking shows on and off of Broadway, who runs her own voice teaching business, a social media platform with over 40,000 followers, and designs her own online courses, which she shares advancement and knowledge to singers globally. She's my mentor, and an extremely great example of industry success without needing to be famous. She's developed her own career as a full-time successful artist by networking, building her own brand and business, running her social media platforms, and booking shows without needing to completely rely on the luck of being at the right place at the right time. Her success is direct proof that you don't need to be an A-list celebrity to consider yourself a successful artist. So, amidst all the noise that artists are told, here's the truth. In reality, the phrase "making it" completely undermines the amount of exploding opportunity there is in the arts industries to build successful, long-lasting careers using multiple streams of income, working in various projects in and behind the scenes of them, and running your own businesses, which will bring success and fulfillment in the long game. So, now that you know that the starving artist is a flawed narrative, and that it is not impossible to be a successful artist in these industries, here's what you can do to start your career and set yourself up for success right now. Putting in the work to develop your artistic skill set through exploring taking an education in university, or taking classes, or joining groups that can help you grow is the first step to being able to monetize your artistic skill sets. Please remember that there is no need to let go of your dreams and your passions in fear of failure. Remember that all the successful people out there who are chasing their passions and finding success had to start somewhere, whether they started in front of a screen or behind the scenes. And they all started with a dream.